So we've seen this kind of happening for a while now. Last episode kind of started building into the idea that a revolution is going to be happening and the kind of civilization and structure of the interior wall is collapsing in on itself because of how much, basically the weight of the lies almost is a good way to think of it, is just the weight of the lies is causing this internal, wall civilization to collapse. So let's talk about it, because it's going to be fun. So obviously the scouts are still out in the woods, or at least Levi's group is still out in the woods, and we picked up seeing the group that was coming towards them, and they sort of captured Armin for like half a second. He's become a total badass ever since he killed somebody. I even said that in the video, but yeah, he basically acted as bait while the rest of the group captured them. They took the guns from them and tied them up, questioned them a little bit, and they were going to let them go, and Levi was going to have Sasha tie them up and take them somewhere far enough away. But instead, Jean offered to do it, and I actually thought that Jean was kind of losing his mind. I mean, the sheer stress of the situations that they've been in would definitely take a toll on most people. What the heck is wrong with you, Jean? I think he's finally broken. And I was pretty sure that he was, falling under, that kind of stress, or falling to that kind of stress. But, yeah, he was threatening to kill them. He was acting nuts. He even got to a point where the one dude hit him, got his gun, or got his knife, and then he goes, I got a gun, let's have a race, that kind of thing. But it was a test, because we see that the girl, Hitch, came back and smacked John in the head with a piece of wood, and he only had a stick in his hand, not a gun. So that was an interesting way to test them. It was enough so that Levi actually had them come up, lead them up to a checkpoint where a leader from a commander from the interior wall police was stationed, and they captured him. And I gotta say, I'm definitely not a big fan of these torture scenes in the current season. It's ow. It's not great. I'm not into it, but hey, whatever gets the job done. Now, last episode I said this was getting fairly political. Now, that is not to say that political ideology is being thrown around, but which this show is a master of, is a very much a show don't tell kind of thing. Just because somebody doesn't say anything doesn't mean that it's not a thing that's happening. My example of this is that when we see the, I guess, press questioning one of the interior wall police, the one guy, who's an older gentleman, was basically just questioning him almost as if it was like, oh, so these are the official words from you, so we can only trust that, and done. It was a very one-sided questioning, because it was basically whatever the interior wall police guy said was what the dude wrote down. That's it. The other guy, a younger guy, asked a couple other questions and was immediately shut down. Like, no, don't go asking all those questions. Sorry, he's just a rookie. Which goes to show that for so long, the political leaders of this world have essentially ruled the press, have ruled the police, have ruled everything with an iron fist, to the point where speaking out or broaching other topics that may not even be something that other people would care about or think about, broaching those topics that conflict with the established order are pretty much punishable by death, as we see later with what's going on with Erwin. So to say this series is not political doesn't mean that it's not, or to say that it's not political because it's not showing things that would be, straight in your face, like, let me talk about political theory, politics. No, it just shows without telling. That's what I like about this series, is the subtleties and the way that it tells the story and establishes order and establishes the world without just dumping exposition in your face, which is a mark of a truly great storyteller. So kudos for that. Speaking of speaking out and knowing things that the government doesn't want you to, So we pick up with the Reese's son, the younger one. He, what was it, Flagel, I think was his name. We pick up with him running from the military police because he knows who actually killed his dad. And so they're going to kill him for it. So we see him, Hanji picks him up and essentially says, look, you have something that the police want that nobody else knows. We need to spread that word, share that out there. So he was very against it at first, but he agreed to work as bait and run into an area that looked abandoned. And he did that so that way he would actually be like, well, before I die, tell me why, tell me what happened, blah, blah, blah. And so the people who were chasing him, the idiotic interior wall police, who, the one dude was just sick, he was crying because he's like, when you got away, I thought they'd kill me. And it's like, oh, you were only in it for selfish reasons. What an asshat. So they reiterate everything that they, had done and why they were going to kill him. And then the two, Hanji and I forget who else, took them out. And I love how they used this because people lived in those houses. And he's like, you came to this abandoned dump of a place. So the interior wall police insulted people who lived in there because, spoiler alert, the entire place had people living in it. So the interior wall police insulted the place where these people lived, followed by essentially just completely spilling out why the government wanted him killed and what actually happened, and showing the corruption of this government and the corruption of the current political system in this world. And now Reese even said, he's like, would you please follow? It sounded like the translation didn't seem to quite fit, at least what I got out of the context, which sounded more like, will you believe me? Will you let me lead you, please, kind of thing. Sort of got that in the sub, but it was kind of weird because I think onegaishimasu means please, which he didn't say please once in that, but whatever. So now that one little story that he has, is now known by multiple people, and I love it because now he has a very small following, but a big enough following that he can now spread the word and share and bring to light the corruption of this current political system, the world they live in. The only other big thing with this episode was we see that Erwin has been, he was being interrogated when, he just got the shit beat out of him. And we see, I forget the guy's name, one of the commanders come in and start questioning him, or not questioning him, but, saying, I've seen you in better states to think that you were, lecturing me earlier. And I'm taking a guess here because I don't remember. It's been a little while, but the Erwin asks this guy, how's your family? They live in the Strauss district, don't they? Or whatever the place was where Aaron and Annie had their fight, and tons of people died. Hundreds of people died. And I'm wondering, he asked how your family's doing. The guy said, I haven't been home in a while, but they're fine. I'm wondering if, because he hasn't been home in a while, the government's just telling him that everything's fine and all that kind of stuff, when in reality they died in that district, because that was where I believe that's where they had their fight. I could be wrong, but I think that was the case. So that is pretty interesting. I'm curious if that was the case, but I don't know, because it's been a while since I've watched that. But we also learn that essentially Erwin is asking too many questions. He knows too much. And so he's going to be executed, but he gets time to, I guess, presence with the king. So he's going to go and, I guess, be questioned. They asked if he had any final words, but the preview for the next episode showed him smirking, which makes me wonder if he's going to bring up questions or learn something or have them confess something to him that we didn't know before, or something that will help build the world more. I'm wondering if that's going to be the case. I don't really know because, of course, I haven't seen the next episode yet because it's not out yet. But overall, I am really enjoying this series so far. It's really kind of showing how corrupt this government is and how many lies have been told to keep the people in order. It's really wild to see, and you're almost watching this government collapse in on itself from the people all the way into the political leaders. And it's gone from the people, and it's, started in the scouts and is reaching its way out to the people and then coming back into the government. So I'm really interested to see. And of course they have some master plan, the guy was saying. I don't know what the plan is, or not master plan, but like all will go according to plan or something. I don't know what they're building to. I'm curious to see what they're building to. Obviously there's going to be some sort of revolution, or at least a build towards a revolution. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Wasn't trying to directly bash a commenter, but I saw that and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because they generalized Americans as being not politically smart. I don't want to linger on that too long because I don't like reading hate comments. I addressed him in the comments on the last video, but as for this video, I think I've made my case, and I think I've really come to enjoy this series more and more for those reasons. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, subscribe. Let me know if there's other shows you guys want me to do an episode by episode review series of. And apart from that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to be there and have a good one.